What's up guys, this is Lichtsang here. Today we will talk about the Sivir Miracle deck that I prepared for the regional qualifier in Bologna. I had a great experience in Bologna. I really loved the event. It was such a blur, so fun. I met a lot of different people from different countries. I even met some people who know my videos, which was an incredible experience. Obviously, I've played a lot of Riftbound. I talked a lot about Riftbound with other people, talked strategy as well, and I'm really hyped for the regional qualifier in Lille in April. That is the next one that I will be able to play. So in this video, first I will show you the deck list, then I will talk to you about my tournament experience of the main event and also the side events in Bologna, and my win rates that I had over testing and on the weekend in Bologna. And then I will attempt to record a good best of one gameplay video to show you the deck. Once again, I uploaded a gameplay video 1 week ago, but I wanna maybe find a more interesting matchup than this Lucian video that I was able to record. Okay, let's dive into the deck list. Obviously, we are playing Sivir Mercenary as our champion unit. Sivir is actually way better than I thought in the beginning. In the beginning, I thought, okay, yeah, it's a fine champion unit, but nothing that you are, like incredibly hyped about. But her ability to gain True Might and gain ganking, and obviously the ability to gain Accelerate, especially at a discount if you have Ezreal on board, is really nice, especially because without Confront or On the Hunt, none of your other units have Accelerate, so it's really important to get into a battlefield quickly with Sivir. Next up, our legend, Sivir Battle Mistress. Whenever we recycle a rune, we gain a gold gear token exhausted. And also the important second part of the effect, when one or more enemy units die, ready me. So if you, let's say, play challenge, you recycle an orange rune, tap her, get a gold, kill an enemy unit, and Sivir is immediately ready again. And then maybe you move into a battlefield or use her, and so on and so forth. So you can gain a lot of gold gear tokens with her. On the other hand, you need to be really careful with your rune economy. Just because you can use her doesn't mean you should use her. Usually you want to be really careful, not recycle too much in the early and mid game. You want to ramp with your normal 2 runes per turn into maybe like 7 or 8 runes, and then you can play a really comfortable control game. Yes, but you don't want to choke on limited runes. Then we play 7 Chaos runes and 5 Body runes. It's really important that we hit our Chaos runes, because most of the early and mid game things that you want to do in this deck, all your setup requires Chaos, but also playing 2 Punch first, playing Sabotage, playing Challenge. You don't want to miss Body runes in crucial parts of the game. That is, I feel like, more important in the mid and late game, where you want to interact more with your opponent, and you will need body runes for that. Obviously gold can help, but you need the 5 body runes. I tried 8-4, but 7-5 felt better, and I feel like the other good Sivir lists that I saw also play 7-5. Or I think Randy played 6-6 in the Chinese region, not too sure. Alright, we play 2 Confront units. You play this turn, enter ready, draw 1. You can just play this with bricky hands in the early game to find your pieces like Call Shot or Stack Deck that help you to develop your game plan, or you just play it in a Rhasa turn to maybe get the 10th card into your trash. And obviously really important, your units enter ready, so you want to use Confront for your big turns where you play maybe like 2 Rhasas and Confront before that and they enter ready, or you can use Last Rites, get a new Rhasa from trash, and that also enters ready. Sabotage, really important. Knowing your opponent's hand is, I feel like in this current meta, a huge advantage, and also preparing for important combat situations, taking that maybe Spinning Axe out of your opponent's hand, or Rebuke or Fight or Flight. Really important card, and Sivir can play this card really comfortably, because usually you can just use your gold and not actually recycle a rune for it. Fight or Flight Rebuke, I don't think we need to discuss how powerful those purple cards currently are. Stack Deck, part of your Miracle package, really important to fill your trash, filter through your cards. Punch First, also I don't think I need to waste too many words on this card. This is just a beating of a card, quite literally. Gives a unit +5 might this turn as an action. Usually you pay maybe like 1 gold, 1 body rune, and even if you don't have it in hand, you can leave 1 energy up in a lot of spots, and your opponent kind of has to respect Punch First. So really disgusting card. Cold Shot, I already discussed this in the Jinx Miracle deck guide. If you want to learn more about the Miracle package itself, maybe check that out. But yeah, really important. You play Ezreal, you play Cold Shot repeated for 1 power, or like you don't even recycle rune, you just use your seal or you use gold in the Sivir deck. So yeah, incredible card, especially in the Miracle Sivir deck. Challenge, I should have probably played 2 in the main deck because I underestimated how much I want to play Sivir as well. I originally thought maybe 1 challenge could be good because I felt like you can only utilize this in the mid to late game when you have your Rhasa online or when you have, something equipped with last rites, so that it's definitely big enough to win this exchange of might. But with Sivir, there are incredible early game spots where you can punish your opponent for maybe playing an Aurelia unprotected, playing a Kai'Sa to base that's not accelerated. So you've got really good spots, or like just kill your opponent's Ezreal, where you just want to start off with a Sivir and then go into a challenge. And yeah, really important. You probably should play 2 in the main deck. Then we've got Scrap Heap as part of the Miracle package. We play 2 because you don't really need the 3rd. It can be a bit bricky, and you have enough card draw and card selection in this deck. Treasure Trove is really nice turn 1 play, especially against the Draven. If there was no Draven legend that would punish you for playing a card like Treasure Hunter, this should probably be a Treasure Hunter because you would get a gold and get a point. But since Draven exists, and I played 4 Dravens in the main event day 1 out of the 7 rounds that I played, yeah, you really need a good avoid combat game plan if you're not Draven yourself, and Treasure Trove helps. So if you start your game playing first, you get 2 runes, play Treasure Trove, recycle a purple rune, kill this, activate Sivir, get a gold, get a new rune, draw a card. So you start with basically a free gold, which can be really important and also pairs nicely with the Seal of Discord. So if you have Seal of Discord Treasure Trove as a start, you will start with a gold and a ready seal into turn 2, which is pretty good and enables you to use power and also ramp into your mid and late game. Last rites, I don't think I need to explain this. Check out the Jinx Miracle deck if you want to learn more about the Miracle package itself, but obviously really, really good. You almost always find it because you have so much card selection. Traveling Merchant, Rhasa, fill the trash, play Rhasa for usually maybe like 1 energy, 1 power, or just 1 purple power. 1 Overzealous Fan, I was quite happy with playing 1. It gives you sometimes a little bit of an edge against Draven. Sometimes you kind of build like a really big amount of might into 1 battlefield, play a fan, maybe you have like a Fight or Flight hidden, and then you kind of never lose that battlefield again, and then you just need to worry about, okay, how do I take away his cards and also control the other battlefield. So for me it felt pretty good, and also having an additional 2-drop against non-Draven decks out there is also nice for some good turn 1 plays. Two-Fizz, great card, especially in this deck because you are allowed to play those sabotages, those punch firsts, also your sideboard tech cards, so really, really good. For me it's more of a late game card because you don't want to recycle too much runes. And the good cards that you want to play out of your trash usually require a recycling rune, something like a Sabotage, Punch First, and maybe a Rebuke from trash, something like that. Ezreal, part of the Miracle package, huge, also really nice additional option to, if you have 2 Ezreals on board, which can happen quite frequently. Your Sivir accelerates for free, which is also quite nice. Playtesting with this deck in the early stages, I felt like I didn't really like relying on Filtrash and Rhasa to have might in the game. So I added one Nocturne and one Akshan, and both additions felt really, really good for me. I have seen some of the top Miracle lists in the Bologna regional qualifier played the casino version with 3 Nocturnes, Draven Miracle with 3 Nocturnes, something like that. I personally really like one, because you have a good chance of finding it with your stack deck or call shot, and even if you draw into it, you just discard it with Traveling Merchant, Ezreal or Zaun. Same thing for Akshan. Felt really good to have one in the main deck. Can be quite surprising for your opponents that rely on gear, and if you don't need it, you just discard it. So playing 2 a bit more bricky additional cards felt really good for me. And also the ganking aspect of Nocturne, if you have Nocturne and Sivir, both with the ability to have ganking, can be quite nice to control both battlefields, and you won't be as stuck in one battlefield, which can be important because usually your opponent will be ahead of points in the Sivir Miracle deck. Our battlefields are Zaun Warrens. That's usually the no-brainer game 1 battlefield. It's your scrap heap game. It's probably your best battlefield. There might be spots where you don't use this game 1, but I can't really think of one spontaneously. Then your going first battlefield is Sigil. It just slows down the pace of the game because your opponents are usually not willing to sacrifice their runes for a point in the early game, and then you can kind of take over and control the game, hopefully in the mid to late game. Obelisk of Power is a great going second battlefield. As I said, I kind of underestimated how important Sivir is, and another teammate, shoutouts to Ricochet, really discussed this with me because I wanted to play Minefield in Bologna, and he talked me into playing Obelisk, and I don't regret it at all. Obelisk felt great. Going second, playing Sivir turn 1, playing something like a challenge turn 2 feels amazing. Or just controlling the battlefields with your Sivir, because there's not much that your opponents can usually do about a furious Sivir at turn 2. Then we get into the sideboard. Unyielding Spirit, obviously against Kai'Sa. You can use it against Victor or maybe an Ezreal who uses Singularity or Bellows Breath. Using this on a Singularity obviously feels great. Then we've got Hard Bargain for those, the Kai'Sas, all the decks that play something like a Time Warp or really expensive spells where a Hard Bargain can be quite punishing. I don't love Hard Bargain in Sivir because you usually don't want to hold up 2 to 4 energy in your opponent's turn. You want 1 or 2 open, but you don't really use this repeated, and it can be a little bit of a dead card in certain spots. But 1 felt great because you can usually find it until the late game to prevent a Time Warp. But I personally don't like playing more than 1. Acceptable Losses, I love this card. This won me a lot of games. It's incredible against something, let's say like an Azir deck, who really wants to have his gear for his big Arise turns, stuff like that. And if I find my Acceptable Losses, if I find my Akshans, decks like Azir or Lucian or a baited hook Fiora version, they are not really allowed to play the game. You want to be careful with this against decks that play gold. It's not really that useful if your opponent has a gold open, so bear that in mind. But felt like a really good card. Try it yourself. And at the worst thing that you will recycle if you use it carefully will be an exhausted gold gear token, which is not that bad if you trade it for something like a BF sword. Second challenge, as I said, this should probably be in the main deck. I'm not too sure how I would like to use the 8 spot, but on the hunt, I usually use this when I go second, because I sometimes feel like if you are behind in points, then you put a lot of might into one battlefield, your opponent is preparing to hold for the 8 point on the other battlefield, and then it's just a really good turn and a good surprise to be able to move all your units back to base, ready all of them, and start a huge attack on the other battlefield, maybe, hopefully, to win the game by killing most of his units. The second Akshan, you want to use this against all the decks that play Zhonya's, Guardian Angel, important gear, something like an armory for Victor Lux or Renata that you want to steal from them. Be careful though, you don't want your Akshan to die when you stole an important gear. Alright, let's talk win rates. I'll just check my notes. So I usually track my games. I don't track all of my games because I sometimes forget it. Maybe, like take those win rates with a grain of salt. Kind of like a disclaimer, those win rates are my personal win rates playing this deck. A lot of those games were played online against random TCG Arena players who were not as well prepared and probably not as willing to win by all means as someone would maybe at a Summoner Skirmish or at a regional qualifier. So talking games, I have 142 tracked games. I won 99 of them, mostly with this deck list. I made a few little changes like not using Minefield. I used Minefield for most of the testing process, but then I changed it to Obelisk of Power. But roughly this is the deck list that I played all those games with. 199 from those 142. That's roughly a 70% win rate in games. And then out of 39 matches that I tracked, I won 30, which is roughly a 77% win rate. Really important to bear in mind that I can't really account for draws, which is a huge drawback and will realistically lower this win rate by a lot, because draws are kind of what ruins this deck if you want to use it competitively, and is also confirmed by my main event experience that I will talk to you about in a second. The worst matchup, I feel like, for me personally, with those limited amount of games, has been Annie and Fiora. A good Fiora player just feels quite rough because he's able to score fast, and maybe I haven't really, found out how to beat Fiora as well, and Annie just felt a little bit too fast, but this experience is just based on maybe 5 to 6 matches that I played against Annie. I won half of them, but it still didn't really feel as good. Really good matchups in my experience have been Azir and Kai'Sa. Azir, maybe because of the heavy gear hate that I play, like 2 Akshans, 2 acceptable losses. Also Sabotage takes away, their last resources, and Azir can struggle with drawing cards. And Kai'Sa, I was surprised because I thought Kai'Sa would be a bad matchup. But once you are able to play Unyielding Spirit, like post game 1, you can just find it because you have so much card selection. And it's the set 2 Kai'Sa decks play more like Victor with a lot of damage-based removal. So you can really punish them with Unyielding Spirit, and yeah, those games have felt great. I think in Bologna I didn't lose a single game against the Kai'Sa, neither in the main nor in the side events. And then, most importantly, how is the Draven matchup? This is the question that you should ask yourself in this meta always with every deck if you want to play competitively. The best of 3 experience against Draven with this list in 19 matches has been a win rate of roughly 74%, so quite good, a little bit below my average win rate. And the best of 1 win rate was roughly 68% over 41 games. I feel like playing against a really good Draven, I mean, this accounts for all decks, but I feel like it's especially important in Draven. You should win every game against an average Draven player with this list, but it can be really rough against, a really good Draven player. Yes, so that's that, the win rates. And now you wanna, my main event experience, don't wanna forget that. Yeah, so the whole logistics and organization on day 1, Friday, not really day 1 of the main event, but day 1 of the whole tournament, I wanted to play a lot of side events and just have a good time on Friday, but the whole organization has been quite awful. I think we waited for 4 or 5 hours in the event location, But we also waited like 2 or 3 hours before that outside to be able to, quickly enter and start our side event journey. So we waited probably like 6 hours in total before we played the first game of Riftbound, which felt horrible. Yeah, but I was able to acquire some tickets on Friday, then started into the main event on Saturday. I slept pretty bad. I was also kind of sick, which is a bit of a poor excuse because you should still perform well even if you didn't have the best night sleep. I won the first round automatically because of my Summoner Skirmish buy. Then I won the first real match against the Draven 2-0, lost the second one 1-2 against another Draven, won 2-0 against the Lucian, won 2-0 against the Kai'Sa. So at that point I was 4-1, felt pretty good, felt confident, the deck felt great. And then I played a game against a Fiora. We ended up in time in the third game, so it was 1-1. I would have won the game in the next turn. I probably had 30 might on board, 6 cards in hand. I had 7 points. I feel like he had 6 or 7 points. He had 1 unit and his top deck, but his turn was the last turn. So it ended up as a draw. And then I ended up drawing another match against the Draven. Although I would say I played quite fast, but this is the main disadvantage with this deck. I feel like this is a really good deck, but it struggles with this current time rule. 60 minutes of time and then 3 more turns is quite rough for this deck because you just have so many decisions that you make. So even though I would say I played quite fast, we just didn't have enough time for 3 games of Riftbound. So I ended up drawing the second game, so I was 4 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, and then I surrendered in the end so that my opponent can continue his main event journey. And that was it for my main event. And then on Sunday I played more side events, had a really good time, met a lot of nice people, and managed to win more tickets. So value-wise, the weekend was really good. Those regional qualifier events should hold a lot of value if you want to compete in them. Alright, enough rambling from my side. Let's get into a game of Riftbound, and hopefully I can show you the strength of Sivir Miracle. Alright, Draven, that's good. Obviously the most important matchup. Ooh, okay, maybe we face a Draven Miracle deck. That's quite nice. Alright, my opponent is ready. And we start with Traveling Merchant, which is an amazing start. I want to mulligan heavily into finding Seal, Ezreal, Cold Shot, our little Exodia. There's the Cold Shot. Now we just need to find the move trigger with my focus. We kind of try to either find Ezreal or Scrap Heap, and that's why we use it with our focus. There's Ezreal, this is great, and now we can score. Discard the fan, draw. Play the Seal, play Ezreal. Discard challenge, we can play it later with Fizz, and pass. So now he could play something like a Spinning Axe to win this combat to draw a card. But the Miracle version probably doesn't play too many combat tricks. Oh my god, double Scrap Heap. Okay, this will be a challenge. He's playing his own Ezreal. Yeah, this will be difficult. He discards Bushwhack. Alright, we are holding 2-2. Pretty good board from our opponent. He didn't play call shot though, which is good. So we will start off by looking at our opponent's hand and see what... Okay, yeah. As this Rhasa. Then we go for a call shot. Now we just want to find our Rhasas. Fizz is good. Because we have the challenge, we play this. To base. Now we move out of here. Don't think we need Ezreal. Discard, draw. Sivir is ready. So we hide. I feel like another seal could be good. Yeah, that's what I want. It's also alright. Play seal, tap all, get some might on the battlefield, and opponent's turn. A little bit unlucky that we haven't seen the other two Rhasas, so they should be in the next, I don't know, like 15 cards or something. What is he doing? Okay, playing a call shot. We know that he has Rhasa, Fizz, and Ezreal in hand. Fizz, okay, to stack tech. That's not really what I feel like what you want to do there. I would have probably played the other Ezreal, right? That's what he still... As Fizz Rhasa, what did he discard? Not Ezreal. Because you kind of want to fill your trash and not empty it if you don't have to. Alright. 1 energy up for our opponent. Ooh. Not sure what happened here. Never mind. Okay. Did we draw? Yes. Okay. We will go for... Ooh, nice. There's our double scrap heap turn that the opponent had earlier. We do not have a confront. We found the shovel, but we don't have anything. I mean, we could discard Rhasa. Yeah, that's probably good. Call shot. Yeah, stealing his shovel should be good. It's also good. Now we have 13, which is good to play the Rhasa for free from trash. We want to those. Oh, I have to pay another one because I don't control an Ezreal for the repeated cold shot that I just played. Alright. 1 up. 6. So we go to 5, we discard Rhasa and draw, and then we play Rhasa from trash for the gold. And pass. This turn he should be able to maybe find his big bushwhack Rhasa turn, but I'm not too... Yes, that's fine. Not too worried about this because we have the point lead. We can steal something like his axe or a last rites. And we already started our own last rites Rhasa cycle. Alright, 10 in the trash. So he could play bushwhack into 3 Rhasas. Oh, I am absolutely fine with you piling your units on this battlefield if I have the point lead. So we can play a unit for free from trash. I'm not sure whether I even want to do that. I mean, playing a fan can't hurt. So we have 10 here, he has 16, 6, 12, 17, 22. 12, 18, push him out, 10, 16 versus 18. I do not even want to do that right now. Yeah, Rhasa TM. Let's find some more interaction. There it is. Could also play another Rhasa. Yeah, since we have this limited amount of runes, I prefer the Rhasa. And it's opponent's turn. Yeah, that's a good top deck. Into Nocturne, alright. Pretty good. Another one, alright. I mean, as long as he plays them to base, doesn't really matter if I can score to 8 next turn. Oh, the third one. Alright, also to base. Yeah, okay. This is, like, definitely a mistake because they have ganking, so just play them into this battlefield. There's, like, just disadvantages by playing them to base. I feel like I didn't play this perfectly, but alright. He's even leaving the battlefield. Alright, our opponent doesn't really want to win. Okay, so this is 12, 14. Yeah, this should be really easy. Let's look at our opponent's hand. Bushwhack. He could have not easily, but he could have probably destroyed me over here. Maybe not the most experienced Sivir player, our opponent. Alright, and now we just... Sivir is at 6, because I played Fizz into Sabo. We hold to 7, move in. That's 14, that's more. GG, alright. I hope you guys liked this decklist video. I will soon upload a video to what I consider to be the first good tribal deck in Riftbound. Maybe for some, like casual to low competitive fun. I hope you liked this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscription if you feel like it. These interactions really motivate me to keep going with this channel. Let me know if you have any questions or feedback, and I hope you have a great day. See you soon.